It's bad. I mean, I could barely see half a meter in front of me.
Welcome to the show where anything could happen. The real play experience where we put players against problems with no easy answers, incomplete information, and against a ticking clock. I'm Oscar, I'm your host, and it's my job to set things up and to go behind the scenes to pass messages to players to keep knocking things off track. In this episode, we find ourselves on Gliese 667cc, known unimaginatively as Snowball. It's a mining colony on a frigid world with a triple star system. An auditor has been sent to the planet to investigate unusual patterns in the production output of the world, but at first glance, the world seems to be uninteresting. Let's meet our players.
I am Claire Gaskin. I'm a silly little guy in real life, and in the game life, I am Alabaster Mose, the lead auditor. Very consistent with that.
Hi, I'm Chris Payne, I'm a game developer, and tonight I am playing Philip Astley, the entertainment director.
Hi guys, my name's Neil, I'm a game designer, and tonight I was playing Marcus Finley, the mining cooperative leader who loves his fellow workers but has a bit of a drinking problem.
So, I'm Lilith Wild, I'm a TTRPG player and AP performer, and tonight I was playing Alestra Kane, operations director on this wonderful mining facility.
Hello, I'm Antonio Salgete, I'm a game designer, and I am playing Perry Bingham, the forensic analyst.
Hello, I am Lucy, I'm a video games producer, and today I am playing Luwy Dacy, the logistics director on this mining facility, and I am pissed off.
And as we find ourselves in the middle of the auditing process, we have to remember that anything could happen. I will pass this over to our lead auditor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alabaster Mose. You may only refer to me as Auditor Mose. I'm here today because, although I am a fan of consistency, your recent outputs have been consistently consistent, and which is very worrying to me, in which case I was called over and been assigned our lovely Perry Bingham to provide more information on the matter. Please provide any evidence as to why I should not be suspicious of your consistency.
If I may, Auditor Mose, I don't think anyone specifically is to blame. It's a question of the ore and supply and demand. I mean, productivity can only be so much, and if nobody is interested in purchasing the product, we can't do anything about that.
Well, I'm sorry, but I have to say something. I am very much at my wits' ends. I represent all the hard-working peoples of the mine. Their output has increased, and yet the revenues haven't. And I definitely want to understand where this extra cash has gone.
Thank you, Director Dacy. I was literally about to say the same thing. I mean, our outputs are not consistent. They're consistently going up, if anything. To have us having these audits looking into things, we should be looking at what's happening on the other end of the transaction, because we're doing our job.
Exactly, we're working really well together.
From what I can read here in my analysis, yes, there is true that the production has been consistent, but there's also been an increasing amount in an increasing cost in just the day-to-day of these facilities.
I keep hearing that, it's always, the costs have gone up. I don't care. If we don't have more money for this extra work that all the workers have put, we will strike. And you'll see what happens when we strike.
No, I completely agree. The workers should be rewarded for the work they do. And I think that it is a shame that the funds are not being allocated to them.
Yeah, we're working hard keeping morale up on a miserable planet like this.
And morale is dipping all the time. I mean, it's getting difficult because we're not seeing recognition where it counts for our work.
If
I
I
mean,
may
who's
say something.
producing? Sorry, but I
I-
want to say no. Who is producing the resources that actually bring value here? The workers are.
Of course, of course.
I am here to audit the monetary output of this facility. I do not care for the worker morality, nor your feelings on the matter.
But
You
as
can have a little group therapy session on your own time.
No,
I am trying to get to the bottom of these costs and why they are not adding up.
But Auditor, what I was saying, if the supply and demand isn't there, the cost won't. It's not profitable. You can't blame us for a lack
then
of demand.
Why are your figures not going down?
What do you mean?
Your figures have been remained consistently consistent. Neither up
Yes?
nor down.
You're
That
telling
is
us
fish.
you want us to stop working?
No, I am asking why there has been no fluctuation. It seems like someone has, as they say, cooked the books.
Mm.
Mr. Bingham, as you might have more experience with this situation, what is your thoughts on the matter and the fine folk that have gathered here for this meeting?
Well, I've looked over the books and every report, and I tried to identify any discrepancies, but it seems that everything is running as usual, and the same output, the same input. Does not seem that there is any sort of excess or any sort of, wasted production. So I do not see why this is an issue.
If I may interrupt
Well, the
for a
record
moment.
is saying that the revenue per unit is decreasing or reducing.
Yes, it is.
That is unexpected.
Unacceptable.
Explanation. Efficient.
If I may, I just received the most recent weather report. We are expecting a very severe storm, more severe than recorded any time recently.
I want to be out of here before that storm hits. Efficient.
With respect, Auditor,
Lay
you
your
might-
claims.
I think we should consider the fact that running this facility isn't necessarily straightforward.
You could say that again.
Yeah, we're working in a blizzard.
And I mean, it seems here that there are no casualties from these blizzards and these storms that are upcoming. Correct?
There are casualties, though.
Mm.
There's time, there's money involved, and the mental health of the workers can suffer. Also, the systems that keep life possible here, they take more work during blizzards.
Apologies, Auditor Moss. I need to check something in one of our outbuildings. I'll be back momentarily.
Fine.
See, we're threatening strikes.
Be
and
quick. Be efficient.
well, we're threatening strikes, and as you see, he's being as efficient as anyone in the working facility of the mines. We're still
Honest-
very
I
professional.
agree.
We're
I think a
pissed.
strike is valid, actually.
So
Oh, do you now?
Yes. I think the workers should be rewarded for the work they do. I've
Where
always
is that
thought
extra
so.
money that we are due?
I don't know.
are there any bonuses that have not been accounted in your workers' contracts? I have no record of this. That is why I ask.
Bonuses?
The worker would be paid the same amount regardless of output?
They should. Well,
No.
they
Is
should
there
at
a
least
premium?
be paid. Not that I know of. We've been asking for those for a long time now, and we've never been awarded anything.
I don't understand how the revenue has not been increasing. It really should be. But out
So
in the
you're
snow...
agreeing this is consistently consistent, which is suspicious.
I'm not sure I understand your suspicions, Auditor.
The numbers, they're not changing. Numbers should change. I love consistency as much as the next person, but these numbers aren't changing, which is unusual for a business of this caliber.
Can I point out we're not hearing anything from our dear Phil Astley?
What do you want me to say?
Yes, speak efficiently.
I keep the workers cheerful. Production is good. Workers are happy.
Production is not good.
Production
As in, it's getting better, but we're not getting paid for our fair share of work.
I do not mean to lampoon this situation, but it seems we're discussing more about employee satisfaction rather than the actual numbers. I understand your presence here,
That is exactly what I'm
Auditor,
saying.
but it seems that we're trying to identify a problem where there's none.
There is a problem. The output is increasing, and the revenues of our workers is not.
I do not see in any of the accounts. I see small increases in production, sure, but also greater costs to maintain everyday activities in this facility.
And
You know-
revenue decreasing per unit.
Do you know how hard it is to live out here? I mean, of course there are facility costs. I mean, are you expecting us to freeze? Are you expecting us to not go stir crazy from cabin fever like people did back in Antarctica? I mean, honestly.
But no, that is exactly what I'm
Maybe you
talking
should
about.
work as an auditor then.
Me? You're joking.
Yes, director. Do you think that if you axed the job of one Mr. Philip Astley, that your numbers would change?
No, I don't think so. I actually think the production would decrease.
I'm doing my
think we-
best to keep everybody happy on this
Oh, I-
miserable frozen rock.
But that's precisely it. Production would go down without your work. Because without your work, we would have less satisfied workers and potentially a higher rate of,
Oh my god. I'm just receiving terrible news. Food Store 191 has been discovered destroyed. In one of the main storage facilities, and the contents have disappeared. Who's the thief here?
Is there no security around here?
My job.
This is what I keep seeing in these accounts, is that there are increasing amounts of these events and these situations that demand more resources to be put in, and this is why the balance always stays the same. Really, this, if anything, the facility needs to maybe tighten up a little bit, but the numbers don't lie.
I mean, numbers can be misleading. Out here in the cold? Like,
Numbers are
sometimes-
never misleading.
With respect, Auditor. I mean, you have equipment here that freezes regularly. You have to wait till it thaws, and in the meantime, the numbers are very skewed. My life support systems that I have to keep online, it's really, really difficult at times, and with the best engineering, it's still troublesome in this cold.
Again, if this is true, then your numbers would fluctuate regularly. But they are consistently consistent.
So are you in the way you talk. It's really weird. No disrespect.
Exactly, I love consistency. But this consistently consistentness is inconsistent with proper numbers.
I don't see why we're yelling.
Well, what's consistent on our
We are
end, I
yelling
can
because
tell you,
there is a storm
is the
coming, and I would like to leave.
dissatisfaction of my team. We're the ones producing riches here, and we're not getting our fair share of revenue.
Where is the revenue going?
According to the accounts that I have, everything that is outputted outweighs the costs. As you mentioned, the cost per unit is also going down. Everything seems to just constantly be keeping itself at a perfect balance. I understand, Miss Dacy, that perhaps there is some dissatisfaction on the employee side, but I believe that might be an account for a different meeting.
Well, tell whoever needs to hear this that we will strike if nothing comes out of this meeting.
Who
we
is
wanna know
this
where this
that
extra money's coming
demands
from.
the numbers, the revenue, the price?
I will not cross picket lines.
Who is the one that sets the price?
Marcus!
Sorry, the
Mining
something.
cooperative leader. Welcome
Yes.
back.
Hello. There was something wrong with one of the locks on the doors. I've blocked it up with a barrel to keep the snow out as best as I could.
It will be safe in the blizzard?
Hopefully.
I sure hope we don't get cold.
I'm worried about this blizzard. I mean, how bad is it? Bad weather's bad for morale at the best of times. But...
from what little I saw at the door, it's bad. I mean, I could barely see half a meter in front of me.
How long do we have before that blizzard gets here? In full force?
In full force? I mean... let me see.
You warm people don't know what we go through here. Marcus, I don't know if you've heard, but the food store 191 has been destroyed, and content has disappeared.
Yeah, I'm sorry, auditor, because obviously you're new here, so it's incredible how much of an effect the weather has on the people here. It's a hazardous environment, and just people get real miserable when they're cooped up.
Yes, we're talking in circles. It's cold. We hate the cold. Everyone hates the cold. Why should we be in the cold? I don't understand why there's a mining facility in the cold. But there is a mining facility in the cold, and it's outputting consistently consistent numbers, which is inconsistent with how it should be. Now, who is the one that sets the price for the ore, and why is the price of the ore going down?
The market, sir.
Yeah, the markets set the price for the ore. We live in a capitalist society.
And we don't work
You'll
the
love
stock
that.
market.
This is the proverbial other end of the stick. I think that this might be an issue that we need to take up with our higher ups back home.
Oh, you definitely need
Higher
that.
ups, yes, let's go. Book a shuttle out of here, and we'll leave the cold folks to the cold, and they can complain about the cold in the cold.
Are you seriously not going to offer any further assistance?
The assistance that I will provide you is based on the numbers. I do not care for worker morale.
Well, that's great. General strike from tomorrow onwards.
Wait,
And we'll
there's-
see how you don't care about this.
There's no need for that. I can include in my report that there were some, little addendum with these notes regarding the dissatisfaction of the employees and, the situation with the constantly things breaking down and how hard life is here. I'll make sure to note everything down so that when we pass on the information, the higher
We
ups will
don't
know.
need pity. We need fair retribution for our work.
And how do you propose you get this fair retribution?
Finding out where this extra cash has gone. It's clearly gone. And it needs to be sent back to my workers.
Actually, Auditor, I think there's something you should see.
Yes.
If you would follow me, it might elucidate some of your questions.
Okay, where to?
Just follow me down this hallway, please.
Down the hallway.
Yes.
Okay. Strange meeting place.
No, we're not meeting in the hallway. Just follow me, please.
Where is the end destination if it not the hallway?
I don't want to tell you in front of everyone else. Do you want to know the answer to the numbers or not?
Okay. Mr. Bingham, I am going to an undisclosed location with Alestra Kane here. If I do not return or message you within the next 5 minutes, then help, please. Okay, to the hallway.
Duly noted.
Is she always like this, Bingham?
Yes. Consistently weird. Yes, that would be the word.
I would have struck.
It's bizarre.
Just
I can run the numbers again, but I've run them at least 3 times already. Everything always comes out balanced. I understand that perhaps the auditor is hoping to find some irregularity, something that would cause for things to be investigated, but everything seems to there's costs everywhere in this facility. Things are breaking down all the time. This is a very, very old building.
And I mean, the weather and everything, it's not our fault that the ore that we need was found on this ice ball. But do you know why the market value keeps dropping? Because we have no control over that.
Could be many things, I would say.
Saturation.
As you said, saturation or even demand or even, I mean, maybe someone's trying to lowball you. Make sure that things here people are kept in place. I do not know. The only thing I know is the numbers work out.
I feel like we need the authorities. The authorities need to hear us louder. And if you guys are not it, then I want to see a higher manager. And I do not know what the operations director is up to.
Has it been 5 minutes? Who do I need to talk to in case someone goes missing? Would be security? Would it be operations director?
It's fine.
Hang on. I just received a message from the ops director saying that the auditor has had an accident. That's all it says.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
What?
Well,
It's a dangerous place. Accidents happen all the time.
Really, Marcus?
What?
I mean, I keep complaining. You know how I've been complaining that cash is missing. Clearly, the operations director is behind this and has just probably killed the auditor. Like, that's gonna solve something.
well, what are we going to do now? There'll be a full investigation.
I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure
through comms. Help! It is cold outside. I do not like the cold. It is awful and cold out here. Operations director did not do it justice and kindness by locking me out in the cold. Please, Mr. Perry Bingham, help me. I am in the cold.
Oh God.
We better go out. They won't last a minute. They're soft.
I run back in the room at this time. So there are people outside.
What? Yes.
Yeah.
The auditor.
Auditor's outside.
No. The auditor. There's a group outside.
What do you mean a group outside? Like outside where? Outside the building?
Yes.
In the snow?
Yes!
Who are they?
I don't know!
What do they want?
What?
I don't know!
Help! I am hearing growls around me. I am
It's
in
why
the
I
cold
locked the
and there is
door.
growling.
I don't know what's happening.
And you accidentally locked the auditor outside. We need to get
It
them
was their
back in.
fucking fault. That's not on me, okay? Like, I didn't want whatever that was coming in.
And the first thing you say is the auditor had an accident, but then you don't mention the what the kind of message did you send me? That was just...
I was trying to run. You try to type and run.
But I don't mean to imply anything, but
I am looking to arm myself from the growls and the cold. I do not like the cold.
Why did
You should
lock
arm
the
yourself, auditor.
outside? Why did you lock the auditor outside?
I locked it from the other figures.
Mr. Finley, could I get your assistance in opening the door, please? We can't let Alabaster
Yeah.
Boss just die in the cold.
Yeah. Yeah, we should look into this. We might need more people.
I have found a snow shovel, and I will be using it to defend myself against these growling perpetrators in the cold, which I do not like. I do not like the cold.
I think we should get all weapons, if there are figures as such.
Yes, okay,
And I've got
sure.
I've got my rifle here, but just out of safety. Finley, when can you get the auditor back in?
There is a huge white furred creature approaching me. If this may be my last words, then I use them to curse Operations Director Lester Kane.
I would love to walk out and just basically mad dash to the door, try to see if I could.
I'm going to lean forward to whoever's still in the room.
To my knowledge, there's no wildlife on this planet.
No, there isn't.
I
I know you don't go out very much like we do.
I do go out. I have to manage the outer platforms. But there is no wilderness.
No,
There's
please.
nothing.
So,
Normally.
Harry, you and I are walking towards the door for the auditor, and I've been on my comms talking, saying I need some 5 guys, bring the biggest, deadliest tools you have. And just as they're in the middle of replying, I hear a scream, and the call is disconnected. So I turn, look at you, and then I turn and run in the direction of where my workers would be.
What the hell? What is
I-
going on?
I keep
Very
going to the
bad.
door.
Well, this is very, very bad. Just... The auditor's probably dead at this point.
I mean,
Lost some workers.
I'm not dead yet! I am in the cold and I hate it here. I hate the cold.
Phil, is there a
Okay.
chance that you might have imported some animals without telling us for the entertainment of people?
Why would I import animals?
I mean,
Here! No!
for entertainment, I don't know. Like, we never have wildlife. I don't know what's happening.
No, it's all comms. It's getting the latest stuff
There is a
beamed in.
pounding on one of the doors of the building. A door that was just been shut by Perry Bingham.
I come running back in. But, there's some very furry thing, very big outside.
How big are we talking?
Did you hear the banging on the door?
Yeah.
That big.
Oh, shit.
Guys, keep your rifles around. Okay?
I don't have
The creatures outside in the
I'm not
cold,
authorized.
which I hate the cold, are very ferocious.
I'm not authorized
I
to
have
carry a
been
rifle.
smacked by one of them. Oh no, but I have found purchase in a shuttle. I will be using the shuttle to make a valiant escape attempt.
I don't know how you... I know this is not important, but Bingham, I don't know how you can stand working with this person. This is just... I kind of wish that they were dead.
They
I
have
won't lie.
fancy utensils like shovels.
It's
Also,
called a shovel. That's not fancy.
oh, I thought it was some high-tech thing.
It's not. We don't have money. We live in a place that has outdated items. Ah, my god. We are gonna
Also,
die, and I'm
Marcus-
surrounded by idiots.
Marcus ran off to some screaming noises.
Screaming?
Didn't Marcus say that one of the doors was stuck open?
Oh no.
Did he?
He tried to close it, but it wasn't stuck open, but he shut it with a barrel. If something can push the barrel aside, then we might have a real problem on our hands.
So when I got to where the men were, all I see is corpses and this huge white furred creature coming at me. Looking down to my feet, I see a plasma torch, which is a handheld tool that emits a long beam of energy that can cut through things. And picking it up and holding it ready, I wait for the creature to come for me.
Use the force.
All right.
And I also take out my hip flask that I'm famous for having on me at all times and take a hearty swing.
I see.
You
As
see-
you're waiting for that, you hear mining leader.
There remained not just the one monstrous furred creature, but behind it another and another. At the same time, pounding on the doors of the office building, there's more and more of them pounding. One of the windows smashes open and you start to see these white, huge claws pounding away. And sat on the shuttle, the auditor desperately tries to find out how to take off, but needs someone to activate the colony control key in order to take off.
Oh, I think we lost Oscar.
Oh no! Froze.
Oh no, the controls of the shuttles.
Everything is frozen.
Everything is frozen.
He's back.
Okay, Oscar's back.
Sorry,
lost you.
and on that note, we find ourselves closing our view on what's happening on Snowball. So what's going on here? We have a whole bunch of craziness happening.
Well,
we lost
we're
you,
fucked.
so we missed the ending.
Well, we know that the auditor needs help. Someone pressing.
They need a control key.
And I'm like, Operations Director.
Yeah, so essentially what was happening there is we have the auditor in the shuttle that had been prepped by somebody who has the control key for the colony. And that's usually the mining cooperative. It was you, wasn't it? Finley, you had
I know where that is. I remember I put it down somewhere. I can get it.
It's not like it was stolen by someone or something, was it?
I mean, I had a pretty heavy night's drinking there a while back, and I haven't seen it since then. But
You just left it on the bar right next to you.
Yeah, I mean, who would have picked it up? Go on,
We have a lot of angry
Fully prepped.
workers. Sorry, I'm defaulting
whoever's
to
got
charm.
the colony key, please speak up.
That would be me.
Of course it's you.
of course it is.
And what were you doing with that colony key?
Well, I mean, making vast profits. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
but
Because
the
ops director. I'm sorry, but the ops director was being so dodgy that I was like, because I'm like, it's clearly the entertainment director, but at the same time, I'm like, you're talking so much. I was like, it's one of you. One of you stealing the money.
In my description, it was saying that I admire the team and how well they work together. So I was that's what I was playing up. It's like, oh, we're such a good
brilliant.
team.
Yeah, they are
I don't
lovely.
know
You love your
anyone on it.
team.
Yes, except the auditor, which I am not sorry for locking out.
There was someone making waves. They needed to go.
Honestly, I'm lucky there were figures outside. It was like, perfect excuse.
Oh my god!
Right on
when you-
time.
When you started radioing in from outside, I was so hard not to keep it straight face.
Yeah, when you were
My
describing
deepest,
giant
darkest secret
white,
is that I do not like the cold, and that I will not tell anybody that I will die. I'm not afraid of the cold. I hate the cold. I hate the cold, and no one shall know about this because I will show no weakness.
Oh.
And I think I did a pretty good job of
obviously-
being subtle about that.
You did. Obviously, what people don't know, and it was I actually put it in there because it was a way you could have bribed the auditor had you had the time to do it. Is that there's a drug that a couple of people are addicted to. That it's not pharmaceutical. Sorry, it's a pharmaceutical. It's not a narcotic. It is simply something which helps you cope with the cold.
Yep.
What no
I'm
surprise
providing
it.
a public service.
I mean, I'm also hooked on it.
I'm hooked on it, but I've been thinking that the figures in the snow I've been seeing for a while now were hallucinations. I'm glad to know they weren't.
Oh, cool beans. Just hasn't been reported.
I thought I was hallucinating. I don't want people to know I'm addicted.
I mean,
tripping,
if
guys.
anyone else has any
You just see
addiction.
these figures and you're like, man, shit's wild.
I also have a blaze addiction, but I was like, that's the reason why I didn't want to go too hard on the entertainment director, because I'm like, I want my workers to have the money that they're due, and I'm like, if you're the one who's taking the money, I'm like, but I got drugs.
So, Neil, this is one of the reasons why I thought it was so amusing when you decided that you had an alcohol addiction.
Yeah,
with the
I was
character.
like, yeah.
And I was kind of hoping that people would accuse you of having a blaze addiction, because that would have then opened out the whole conversation about the narcotic in the process. So that's why I was a bit cagey with you earlier about
No,
should
absolutely.
it fit or not.
When you said my secret was I've lost the colony key, and I was like, he lost it. He has a drinking problem. He works his ass off helping his fellow workers, but he deals with the stress by drinking. And one night he drank too much, and that's when the key went missing.
Exactly. And it went missing in the entertainment area, and the entertainment
in the bar.
director nicked
And
it.
you didn't report that? I mean, I wasn't going to report hallucinations, but you could have reported that.
I was
Well,
hoping
that would
it
have been
turn up.
big trouble. That's a far
also, I mean, sure, the key is in charge of the security systems, but there's no native life forms on this planet we need to worry about needing
No, there
security
aren't.
from. So,
yeah, that was explicit in the briefs that there is
Yeah.
no native life forms.
you know, I mean, like, this is the thing. We're like, we're not on Hoth. We are on,
Like we are now.
Gliese 667cc,
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody got a tauntaun?
hmm No, but it did have a lightsaber.
I've got a book about that.
Oh, you actually got a book about the actual planet.
That's amazing.
Oh,
That's
It's
amazing.
entirely fictional.
Yes, as
Oh,
is
that's
this
really cool.
plot. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So is the Voynich manuscript. It's still cool.
Well,
but we
I
haven't
mean,
got to the bottom of
the
what's been
workers-
going on.
Well, the workers are gonna strike. That's what's going
Yes.
on. I mean, the worker that's left,
hmm
the workers that are still alive.
The what workers
Are
are
striking.
still alive, if any.
And if they're not striking, the figures are striking.
They're gonna go up to the Yetis and go,
The Yeti's not gonna strike.
So just because Lucy, you were saying I was being cagey. My objective was to ensure production continued, but I want to see the workers get rewarded for the extra effort.
Oh my god!
Aw.
So we've been literally on the same team the whole time.
whole
and I was
the
time.
like,
whole
Like,
time.
When I was
Whole
telling you, I
time.
agree with the strike. I meant it.
oh my god! I thought you were. But you can't be a good boss. That doesn't exist in the world.
That's why I wrote it that way.
So, Oscar, is the auditor making her escape on my shuttle?
Well, the auditor can't escape because it requires the control key to take off because of the storm. So the auditor's stuck there with the monster smashing away on the door,
Sorry,
trying to take off, but you can't get to the shuttle. You would have to activate the key for them to take off.
But I couldn't because it needed confirmation of some sort.
Yeah. Well, all you need to do is press the button again, and it would be fine. You didn't know what the confirmation request was, but
No,
someone else
no.
did.
That
We need to
guy
get him
with
drunk
the
again.
lightsaber and
Yeah.
in front of him.
Luke
With the
Skywalker.
plasma torch
The drunken
going out,
auditor.
going
lightsaber.
for it.
And also,
I-
that means that the ops director has saved the auditor by locking them outside.
Basically. It's really funny because I did not set out in this scenario to commit murder, but yeah,
That's my job to commit murder.
no, but honestly, like
That's my job.
given the auditor's attitude and how like meek and scared I made my character,
Yeah.
it's really funny that I'm the one who decided to commit the murder.
Yeah, it sounds like you panicked.
I was rubbing my hands together. I was like, this is fantastic.
But that's why I was getting. That's why
I
I was
did a
getting
double take
suspicious
of the
you.
message.
But of course,
Oh, yeah?
Perry Bingham. We need to know more about what was going on with Perry Bingham.
Look, I just needed the auditor
My
to go
trusted
back
Bingham.
to their little life and get out of our way so that business could be as usual.
Ah, okay. So you and Philip Astley were in cahoots.
Wait, you're to my right, so huzzah!
Yeah, so in short, the books had been cooked by the forensic analyst who put himself in the position where he would be the go-to guy anytime something came up because he was the one who knew all of your accounts. He was also the one cooking
Look,
them.
Look,
I mean,
it also
it
costs a lot
tracks.
to run this facility, yeah? Just saying.
But
Which
the
is
whole
why-
creative accounting notion tracks.
Which is precisely why I offered him a ride out.
Yeah, and there were actually some clues which I was sending over to the auditor, namely that the things that Perry was saying didn't match up with the information that you had. I can't remember the actual phrase I used, but I tried not to give it away too much. But there was something along the lines of, they were saying about the price, but you find in the records. Where was it? What's the phrase? There was a phrase I used. Anyway, I can't remember what the words were, but there was definitely a phrase I used to try and kind of imply that it didn't quite match what you were saying. The accounts
you see that the
you're looking
records
at.
in the records that represent increased costs, it seems more that and then that's not what you expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
In fact,
you know,
there's a line that says the accounts you're looking at don't show the levels of increases in production. And everyone was talking
Look, I
about
was
the increases
cold.
in production.
These
Cut
are
it,
not
guys,
the accounts
cut
you're
it.
looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
well, I have good news. It means that, the bad guys essentially are Phil and Perry, and they're gonna die. The bad news is I'm also gonna die, and I'm not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay?
And
Well,
I'm not a bad
see,
guy. Well, I'm a murderer.
I
but
actually
Well, you're
think,
not a bad guy either. I feel very sorry. I accused you.
I actually
and-
think we're going to have a Kurt Russell moment in the thing.
Oh.
I think we've got, Marcus Finlay, action hero, with the plan
Oh, yeah.
torch,
I also have a rifle.
taking on the
right?
bad
I have a
guys.
rifle.
Right.
Yeah, I can't wait for the spin-off movie. This is definitely
Yeah.
happening.
There's definitely a spin-off movie here. There's the
Don't
action
forget about
movie
me
version
and my
of it.
snow shovel.
You're the Chevelle.
Your shovel.
Snow Chevelle could be the car.
The shovel is going to be shoveled somewhere.
I nearly broke when you came out with that.
Oh, I completely broke. I don't have a good poker face. I was trying my best, but I shattered.
I did really
Anyway,
enjoy
any
that.
last comments you want to make?
We're fucked.
Look, technically, my
I
objective
will make
was
a fur coat out of these things.
to get the auditor to leave. Whether they were alive or dead, that was not specified. So they left.
They left.
Yeah.
So on that note, I'd like to thank our players for participating in that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, share, do all those other good things, and obviously tell other people, because of course anything could happen.